Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Storytelling Blair. I'm here to give you guys a storytelling review, and this week I'm doing a single issue. I know, right? Not a trade, not a movie. Thank God it's not a movie. This week it's going to be Peter Parker and the Spectacular Spider-Man. This series sucks. But what I like about it is it encompasses all of my problems in comic books and in Marvel Comics. So I figured, you know what? This can't escape my grasp. I had to talk about this. So, let's go ahead and get started, right? So this story could not escape my grasp, alright? So the third one already came out, and yeah, I probably should be reviewing that one instead of this one, but this one encompasses all of my problems with this series, and I want to address it, because it's freaking frustrating. It's really frustrating what Marvel's trying to do with their characters right now. So how does the issue start? Well, Peter asks the Invincible Iron Man for an autograph. Is that what you expected? The author advertises Invincible Iron Man and Infamous Iron Man in the Cliff Notes. Did you expect that too? Yeah, that sounds pretty noble, you know, trying to sell me comics while I'm reading a fucking comic book? Wonderful! Like, who said that was a good idea? To get Peter to just walk up and be like, oh, I'm gonna completely forget about what I'm doing. Oh, Invincible Iron Man, can I have a signature, please? I'm just trying to get all these autographs together. To make Peter look stupid? To make a stupid joke? To be honest, that sounds like something Deadpool would do. Maybe that's a common theme throughout this story. Maybe Chip forgot about how to write Spider-Man. Maybe he was just like, you know what? Deadpool's really successful, and Spider-Man and Deadpool team up all the time, so they have to be the same character. So I'm just gonna write Spider-Man like Deadpool, because I guess that's what people want. So, Invincible Iron Man punches Peter, knocking the notepad from his hand. And Peter says, and I quote, I just got the original Captain America's signature! The world's greatest superhero! And then at the bottom of the page, what are we treated to? Chip Zdarsky again saying,
Actually, he's not. This takes place before Secret Empire. Or at least I hope it does.
Are you fucking kidding me, Marvel? What? What? No, seriously, what the fuck is that? Why? It's bad enough you made him a Nazi, now what? He's not gonna be everyone's favorite icon? I don't get what you're trying to do. Are you just trying to insult Captain America for the sake of taking a jab at him? Or are you just trying to sell more comics? I'm starting to think it's the second one. And I have another question. Do you really think it's funny insulting him? A character who has been around for 76 years. You want to insult this character. God, like, it's just insulting, and it's insulting to these characters that they have created. You know, like Captain America, I would argue, is probably like the symbol of Marvel, aside from Spider-Man. And you're gonna insult him. Anyway, that's a whole new can of worms I can get into another day. So Invincible Iron Man makes a great quote too. She says to herself while carrying Peter on her back, saying, why do all the old Marvel characters act like idiots? Is that supposed to be a metaphor for how Marvel's been writing their old characters? Is that supposed to be a self-aware joke, saying that we know that this is a problem right now and we're going to try to fix it? Because I think if it's the second one, then I think you would put some greater effort to making Peter look a little bit more competent than a 5-year-old who's riding on Iron Man's back right now. Why is he acting like a kid? Is it because you're just trying to make him out like Deadpool? Or is it because you're trying to push these new characters and trying to show us how superior they are compared to the old ones? So another issue that I have with this comic, no pun intended, Iron Man stops beating Peter like an ugly stepsister and decides to take him to New York. Pointless, right? He spent the last issue flying to New York, and now he's flying back before like the third page. Pointless. Anyway, flies him back to his apartment with his sister. Oh yes, we're going to address that. So, Peter's sister, was it a reveal that paid off? Did we finally learn that did Peter actually have a long-lost sister that the audience never knew about? Is Chip just about to change the entire mythos of Spider-Man as we know it? No, she's just a friend of Peter's old parents. She took on the title of sister because she thought it was fitting. And also to sell more comics because, what leaves an audience member at the edge of their seat when they hear that Peter has a sister? Do you feel like you got your money's worth yet? No? That's how I feel. Like, what was the point of that? She's not actually his sister. I mean, okay, I get the point of it. The point of it was to sell fucking comics. But, really, from a storytelling perspective, is it so that Peter feels some sort of obligation to protect this girl? I do recall his motto being, great power comes great responsibility. He's going to protect anybody who's in danger. So what's the point of calling her his sister? Anyway, I don't know. It was pointless to me. Absolutely pointless. Although, I'll admit, I'm glad she's not actually his sister, because you know that if she was his sister, it would have been retconned at some point, and I'd really hate to see somebody waste, precious mind power, that's what I'm gonna call it, mind power over fixing this shit. So, good on them keeping it simple, I guess. Although I think there's another solution to that sort of problem, and that is, don't fucking do it! Anyway, so that's not the meat of this discussion. That's not the meat of this entire issue. Here's my biggest problem, aside from them writing Peter like, Deadpool. Peter gets to his apartment. Johnny Storm, one of the members of the Fantastic Four, has been watching over his sister while he's been gone. And Peter says, oh yeah, by the way, I have something I gotta do. His sister reveals to him, oh hey Peter, I'm being chased by S.H.I.E.L.D. I really need you to protect me right now. I'm in danger. And Peter's like, that's nice fam. I gotta go to Starbucks real quick and hang out with the pink-haired girl from the last issue. Because we have a date. That, mind you, I guess they planned that Peter would be there on time, spite he took a plane over to Iron Man and had no idea that, she would take him back just in time for his date. So that just sounds like shitty writing. But anyway, yeah. Peter shrugs his responsibilities to go on a date with some girl he just met in the previous issue that we, the audience, have no idea who it is. She's kind of an asshole to him, to be honest with you. She makes fun of him, messes with him. I mean, yeah, you could say that she's just being a little, she's just kind of poking him a bit, but why is Peter going on a date? And not only that, he goes on a date in his entire Spider-Man costume, wearing a suit jacket as well. He shows up to the coffee shop, and he's just like...
That was delicious. Oh yeah, don't mind my cell phone. Yeah, someone's in danger right now, but I'd much rather be with you right now, because, you're very special to me. Well, what's your name again?
What bothers me about this change is the fact that Peter seems to not understand with great power comes great responsibility. And sometimes you have to shrug off the things that you want to do for the things you have to do. Ultimate Spider-Man understood that. There's many occasions where Peter just wants to sit down with Mary Jane and spend time with her. But guess what? That's not the world he lives in. He has to go out there and be a hero. And what does this Peter do? Sit in a coffee shop and drink coffee with a girl he barely knows and shrug off his responsibilities. I don't care how stupid they are. Because I'll admit, yeah, that is really stupid. That she's in danger from S.H.I.E.L.D., yada 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 problem. But regardless, she is in danger, she needs help. And Peter's just shrugging it off. I don't know, maybe this girl ends up working for S.H.I.E.L.D. or something. Watch. I'm done breaking down this issue. I just wanted to go over my problems with it. This issue encompasses all of my problems with modern day Marvel. I don't get it. They insult their older characters, their pre-established characters, their characters who made Marvel what it is today. These movies, everything. They insult those characters, and they create new ones, and they try to show us that these new characters are better because they act stoic. They act like superheroes, and our superheroes that we grew up with, they act like children. I take superheroes very seriously because I think they're very important role models to some people. And I get insulted when these characters are not treated the way they should be. I just don't get it. Maybe they're just trying to make the new characters marketable, but why not do what DC's doing? Take pre-established teams or characters and have them help introduce these new characters. The Justice League right now has Jessica and Simon, 2 new characters as Green Lanterns. You also have the Hal Jordan Green Lantern book, just in case you don't want Jessica and Simon. Batman Detective Comics. You're introduced to Batwoman, Batwing, Spoiler, Orphan. You're introduced to all of these characters in that story alongside Batman, so that Batman fans can get something new, and people who are interested in those characters can take a risk feeling comfortable knowing that a familiar character like Batman is around. That's why the Justice League Dark movie worked, was because Batman was in there. Sure, some people would prefer it would have just been about Justice League Dark, but sometimes that's how you have to introduce a character. I mean, Iron Man introduced Spider-Man into the Marvel Universe, although he didn't need it, but still, it helped the audience get to know these characters, because we had one character we were familiar with and another that we weren't, and we were able to see them work off of each other. And that became financially successful for DC. Marvel really should take a note from that. I really wish they would take a note from that, because to me that is the superior way to introduce a character. Alongside a familiar character, so you don't feel like you're really taking a big risk. At the end of the day, you're still getting a Batman comic. And that's how you should feel about Spider-Man. And that's what they should do with Spider-Man. Use Spider-Man to introduce new characters, to help people get along with it. Create a Marvel team-up book, like you did with Ultimate, and have 616 Peter meeting up with all of the new superheroes. If that's how you want to introduce them. Small little stories that show the best of those new characters, so that audiences know who they are. And if they want to continue to read them, then guess what? They have their own issues. They have their own stories. But you should never diss the old characters. And honestly, that's a bad moral to be teaching kids regardless. It's okay to make fun of some kids as long as it makes you look better? Really? It's like they lost sight of it. You know, what it means to write these comics. DC forgot about it for a while, and then we got DC Rebirth. Marvel's coming out with Marvel Legacy, but to be honest with you, that sounds like they're copying and pasting. I hope they do learn something, though, because I want to read some good Spider-Man. I want to read some good Daredevil. I've recently become a Marvel fan, as you can tell. I really have. But it's only the older stuff that I'm interested in. Not any of this new stuff. So anyway, guys, that is my thoughts of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. I'll probably review the third one. No real rush, though, to be honest. I do like to talk about it just because it does encompass a lot of problems that I currently have with Marvel Comics and with comics in general. These are tropes and things that any comic book writer should avoid doing when making a comic book. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stick with me until my next video. You know. Anyway, guys, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.